I can.
Hey, hey,
How are you?
good.
Good? Yeah.
So, how was your week? 2 weeks.
Was good. Was quite intensive in work. Like bunch of stuff coming, a lot of projects, like to launch or in process of launch. In the agency, we are in summer season are always like it's more hard to do sales because people are going all like on and off from their holidays. We're pushing as much as we can, and um, yeah, and also in creators AI, I'm trying uh, to build a new strategies, like testing a lot of new hypotheses and trying to find a sustainable way of having a growth without like strong paid like ads budget leverage, and trying to make it organic as, as much as I can. So yeah.
Why don't you think about, because you said you have a new guy who's pretty good running it, right?
We actually have a guy who's running Reddit promotion for us, and there is one thing about him that I started to like like going deeply into what he's doing, and I think that he's very focused on brand mentions and rather than link building on Reddit, and I think we are missing a lot of um, we're missing a lot of potential like SEO improvements because of this approach. So I'm trying to figure out if we can somehow keep growing our newsletter list at the same time increasing our SEO through Reddit, because like Reddit is very good for SEO, but it's quite difficult to post direct links to your projects in subreddits. Moderators will remove them, and you can be banned for that. So we're
One thing I realized on
yeah.
Reddit, like, oh yeah, no, I'm talking about Quora. Never mind.
And Quora is also a good thing and is on top of my mind now. I'm trying to figure out like what are the growth mechanics on Quora. I think that it's also good for SEO if you do it correctly, and also there is a nice way to understand your potential traffic. If you create advertisement manager in Quora and you create a campaign, it allows you to see some like keywords that you are targeting, and then you can see some top Quora questions created with this topic, with these keywords, and you can see some weekly traffic for some of them. So that's actually a quite great way to understand if your if your keywords are on Quora, you can understand the volume of these keywords and how much you can get out of it. And also like doing some research on it right now. I'm probably gonna try some some Quora yeah, mechanics to increase our following for creators CI and maybe increase our SEO, because yeah, these backlinks are pretty valuable for long term. And
Yeah, that
what's
was
your
one thing.
Quora thing?
Like, I did some, because I'm trying to build up for this in this TMJ niche for the D2C brand Revive, and so there were some questions I was going to see if there was already this question on Quora, and there was not exactly the question I wanted. So I posted two questions, and basically I just took articles I'd written on my blog. I posted the questions, and then I answered the question myself by copy pasting my blog. And like I thought, okay, like maybe they're gonna like not allow that to go, but it seemed like it got posted and everything was fine, and it had some links. So I was like, oh wow, like I wonder if these links are useful or not.
Have you checked them somehow, like backlinks to your website?
I haven't checked it. I had assumed like all links on Quora have are like what, no follow or whatever. So that's
Yeah.
why like I didn't think it was the links were gonna be useful. I didn't put the links to try to like for SEO. I just put it to kind of like get traffic over. But I
Hmm.
was surprised that like they allowed me to post all that.
Yeah, I think that the barrier to entry, the Quora, is like quite small. You can exactly as you mentioned, you can create questions, you can answer questions, and you can show like how many links you want. The question is how good they are for your SEO for backlinks. Will
Yeah,
they be like increasing your domain rating, or will these answers will they index in Google? So will you have any benefit from it? And also you have to check the traffic because some questions, some keywords have good traffic on Quora and some are really not, and you don't know
yeah,
which.
yeah. One day, like I realized, I looked 6 hours later or so, and they show you the number of views. So one of the articles, I was like, oh wow, like it already got 15 views. And because what Core does is it kind of like matches all the similar questions.
Hmm.
So I realized on my question they had combined all these other similar questions which were not exactly it, but like as a result, like my question had lots of answers, and my answer was one. So yeah, but the thing I found interesting on Reddit is I created my own subreddit for my brand, and I posted a couple things, and I think they even had some links,
Hmm.
but I didn't think the links would be useful. But anyway, like Reddit's like really harsh. Like I don't think it got any traffic. Like if you just create a new subreddit, like how do they determine whether you get some traffic or not?
Yeah, yeah. If you create a new subreddit, then it will not generate any traffic at all because it requires to have some followers of your subreddit
Yeah.
to get some traffic. And I tried it last year. I created a subreddit, but it didn't go really well. It had some value. Still, I got some. I met other newsletter creators, and we exchanged some topics, some materials, some knowledge. But in the end, I would say it's like become a creator on Instagram or LinkedIn. You have to do it consistently, and I'm not sure what are the like discovery mechanics behind this, like subreddit discovery. How can you discover subreddit other than search for them on Reddit? Because Quora, yes, you mentioned like you can be discovered by recommended questions or something like that, which you like can give you a ton of free organic traffic. In Reddit is quite different, but the Reddit is so huge, and it has I think a lot of users who are I would say power users who are spending a lot of time and they're very active. Their engagement is very high, and if they upvote your uh, let's say some discussion on your subreddit, it can go viral. It can really go up, and it can show to their followers. And if the topic is good, and someone will share this, let's say cross post this to another subreddit. I have seen this before. Then this can go viral. And you can get lots a ton of organic traffic. So
Mm.
I think Reddit is much more complicated. It's like a completely unique world with unique rules, and every subreddit has its own rules, and like yeah, it's quite difficult to get down there. I have seen some Reddit agencies and some services that help you to promote on Reddit, and of course there is a gray market to buy and sell different like upvotes and like buy some karma for your accounts and stuff like that, which is for sure like not a very good strategy to grow. But also I have seen some Reddit agencies who are just focused on promoting different digital products and offers through Reddit because they have writers, they know how to engage with the community there, And even at some point, I had some great results in May this year from Reddit. I was even thinking about should I open should I just like start working with these guys for other clients, because my guys, they were working very well. We got some good results. Now results are, at some point in June, we got some decrease in traffic and decrease in results, but now we're getting back in the pace. And I'm trying to help them with good content, with some ideas, and I'm thinking about increasing some efforts in Reddit. Maybe I'll add a new person. I'll just provide some tutorial for my assistant, and she'll help us to navigate the best trending subreddits and topics where we can post something about Creator CI, and not just post like she'll send something like, hey, read this newsletter, but rather creating some value for users there. Let's say answer some topics from our content, from our database, recommend some tools, and so on and so on. Because I think that overall, if you the main secret I've read from many indie hackers about Reddit is you create value post, so everyone really gets value, and then very very small like link or mention of your brand or product. That's how it works usually for viral posts. Still, I had one case, a viral post last year, which got like probably 10,000 of views in few days, and it got me around I think more than 100 subscribers and few paid subscribers immediately just from one post. And the post itself was like a lead digest of different AI tools and services. So
Yeah,
I believe there are so many things to discover there, uh, and and actually market is not very well created for that. Let's say Facebook has a, of course, huge audience, but there are so many different specialists on like Meta ads or Google ads and something. But Reddit is somehow almost empty niche, and I think that it's a very good opportunity here for agencies, for marketing agencies, for setting up some tools to help navigate Reddit. One of the tools I used recently, and I think it's a really good, great one, is Gummy Search. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Have you heard about Gummy Search?
yeah. Either Greg Eisenberg or
Yeah, everyone is recommending
you.
it in newsletter. I don't know how. Maybe these guys, Gummy Search, maybe they pay for that, or maybe not. But the tool itself is pretty cool, and I'm using the free version, and even free version allows me to do some good understanding of niche and the volume of like potential topic. So yeah,
Huh.
it's a good one. I recommend everyone.
Um, yeah, I gotta check it out. I haven't checked it out. One thing I was gonna say about like when I was participating in some bigger Reddits, I did like a small excerpt and then I linked over to my blog article. But I realized, I think the way to do it, like if you want to reuse your content, is just like copy paste almost the entire article. Try to like make it seem like it's organic for Reddit, but then
Hmm.
don't even link over it. Just like copy paste your article and say, hey, and then like it's just good content, rather than making it seem like you're trying to get a link back to your blog.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and it's definitely like many different ways how you can write content, and I would say that one every subreddit is different. So in one subreddit, the audience will be, let's say, there will be beginners and entry level guys, so they really need some very like well digested and prepared information. Others are super nerdy guys who are consider themselves like professionals and super professionals, and if you just post some like simple topics for them, they'll just get they can say like,
Yeah,
hey, you're in the wrong place, just like remove him from
yeah,
subreddit and stuff like that. So it's really maybe one of the idea just bumped into my mind. there are so many, like, let's say, hidden rules when you go to subreddit. It's like going to a social circle of other people, and every social circle has its unwritten rules that everyone have to behave if you want to succeed in this social circle. Let's say, like, you have to invite everyone for dinner, or I don't know, like,
Yeah.
you have to do that or show that. So, and the same applies to Reddit. Like, every subreddit has its own unwritten rules, and there is some kind of profile of average redditor in this subreddit. And maybe there is a great opportunity for marketers and, like, just companies or people who want to dive into this new subreddit, is to understand, like, who is there, who is who is the audience, and how to write to this, or how to communicate with them well, what kind of things they expect from you, or what things they don't want to see from you. And maybe, like, typing the name of subreddit and getting this kind of, like, a profile of, like, users, and what, like, taboo topics, and, like,
Yeah, yeah.
uh
And you could even ask the ChatGPT to like give you the style of your first few posts so that you get
yeah.
accepted.
Yeah, and also, like, exactly, if you will just somehow archive and, like, download some of the subreddits content, especially this content that was, like, popular and got some views, I think you can really create a good tone of voice
Yeah.
for a specific subreddit. Yeah, a lot of things to do there. A lot of things to
Yeah,
do.
I am. I do a little bit of Reddit now for this. I do Reddit and I do Facebook groups for this TMJ topic for my D2C brand Revive. And I like it's your classic, like it's a pretty well established Reddit group on TMJ because it's a broad topic. And like, but all the posts are like people complaining. Like the posts that get accepted on there, like the posts are like someone's complaining how shitty their life is and how bad they feel, and like that was all. And like here I come, I'm like, all right, guys, like I have a solution. But of course, like nobody wants to hear that. So they're all
Mm.
like bashing me and like, oh, you don't understand TMJ. It's very complex. You got to go to like a really good doctor. And I'm like, no, like unlike you guys, I actually solved it, and it's not that complex. And but anyway, like I decided to like refrain from like warfare, and I stepped back a little bit.
So you was against the mainstream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Started the Hollywood war there.
You know, one idea I wanted to mention was one thing that I've noticed, and I think there's an opportunity around it, is like I use Upworkers. You know, and Upworkers you can get really cheap people. Like, you know, people you can find people in like Pakistan and stuff that are willing to like do stuff for $3 or $4 an hour. And the problem with using them for social engagement in the past was like they would write something very bad because it wasn't their topic. But now they can use AI and like they can write something halfway decent as a comment and whatnot. So I almost think like social engagement as a business is more realizable. Like a lot of people gave up on it. Like they used to hire these cheap people to like lie to give likes and comments and
Mm.
reposts, but it wouldn't work because those people would like it was very obviously fake. But actually, I think like now that AI is getting better, that could be an interesting business, especially on something like Reddit. You know, like you could form like a small army of like 20, 30 Upworkers from Pakistan. You get a bunch of clients, and then like they're just like engaging in Reddits and Facebook groups all day for you.
Yeah, I think what your this, like, social engagement is a super big niche, and it could have different ways of, like, implementation. For example, it could be kind of like a group of writers who post for you, or it could be just an engagement group of other creators, which I really believe in this type of. I would say this is the healthiest way to hack social engagement, wherever, like, whenever, which platform you choose, you can, everywhere you can find this. And I'm practicing it right now on LinkedIn, and I think LinkedIn is very good for that, for building, like, a group engagement group with other creators, founders, like builders,
Yeah.
and you all have the same goal. You want to increase your impressions and views, and you want to have a higher, probably like you have some goals, specific goals for your LinkedIn page, right? And you already have some followers. For example, my current engagement group, I have 10 guys. We are all like three, in average, it's like 5,000 followers on LinkedIn. Everyone is in very, very specific niche. Some guys are in biotech, some guys are in crypto startups for like they're doing some venture-backed startups. Some other guys are in YC, so they're just came from the summer batch, and like there are so many different topics. They're very different, but the quality of audience is already like our total audience is probably like 30, 50,000 subscribers, and like most of them are quality subscribers. And we have this sprint where we post every week. We do some few posts. Some guys do 5 posts per week. And when someone posts it, we all go to react and comment on that. And I see that it's 100% way 100% working strategy to increase your impressions, views, and amount of engagement with your posts. So in the future you'll see more engagement and more views. I just started it last week, and we'll see how it will work. But I really like this idea of healthy creators engagement groups where everyone helping each other and everyone has a quite same goal for the platform.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I was going to mention, like, so I would say that I do a very organic way where we haven't even agreed, but like, you find some people that like you just know that this person's making a consistent effort on LinkedIn, so you start liking, engaging, and you find that they usually reciprocate, right?
Hmm.
So like we don't even have any formal agreement, and like that I'm doing kind of informally all the time, right? Whenever I see, oh, this person's starting to like post on LinkedIn, like I'll like, engage, and then usually they'll do it back. And then like I have another friend, he's been doing this for a couple of years, where they have a bit of a more formal engagement. But what they don't do is they don't like send the link out on LinkedIn message or by email or anything. Like they just organically engage whenever someone in their group shows up in their newsfeed.
Hmm.
And that I think is extremely organic. Like they've only done well, never got like punished. The thing I would be a little bit worried about is like when you start like one guy, you got like a group message chat on LinkedIn, and one guy, everybody sends their LinkedIn post, and you click on the link and engage. Like that, I have a feeling LinkedIn is kind of like monitoring that kind of stuff.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you see any violation here? I think it's not a violation because it's like a group of
It is a
people.
slight violation. I've heard of someone get
Oh,
punished
really?
a little bit for that. Like you're
Hmm.
not supposed to kind of do that. Like I don't
Hmm.
know why.
Hmm.
Like they probably have it in their terms of service, but they've
Hmm.
somehow like you cannot send like an email or like message each other off platform and then agree to engage. That
Hmm.
that is not like an acceptable behavior to LinkedIn.
Hmm. Which kind of strange because I see here there is no like uh, direct violation. Well, it's a group of your friends. Why don't you share with them your posts, and why don't you support each other? That sounds like strange for me. If it would be industrial scale level, when you have like hundreds of like friends in the chat and you send your link and there are hundreds of likes and comments, then yeah, that sounds strange. But you remember this was a LinkedIn booster or some kind of thing we discussed with you like last year. It was an application for
Yeah,
engagement.
yeah, I remember LinkedIn Boost or something.
Yeah,
LinkedIn
for
Boost.
hacking engagement. And I think it was quite powerful in the very beginning, but then I
Yeah,
saw like more and more people from different industries are like getting in, and I think at some point it's not working well.
yeah,
Um, as always, because it's a grow hack, and grow hack always have this short cycle of getting like when you're early, it can work well for you, but if you're somewhere late, it's not going to work. And it was not very healthy because you didn't know these people. You,
yeah.
they were very random.
Let's talk about your first topic.
Oh yeah, I bring the topic today, which I think is not very obvious for everyone in English speaking countries because it's related to a platform called Telegram, which is not that popular in States. I think it's just getting its I think it's getting its hockey stick right now and growing pretty fast because of many things. It's founded by Pavel Durov. I think he's already quite famous guy, and I remember my first million guys. They had a like edition about some an obvious billionaires, founders who are like interesting to follow,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he was one of them. I was happy
yeah.
that these
He has like
guys
a perfect body, I remember.
yeah. He has
Yeah,
some fixation on his image in social media. Well, that's
yeah.
like his personal deal. But the thing that he's building, Telegram, quite is quite interesting phenomena. And there are a few things I see here as amazing. Like we have to like think about this, all of them. So one of them is like, of course, the Telegram messaging platform. It's like 1 billion users right now. Mainly it's popular for Eastern European countries. I think it's getting some more getting popularity in Europe and States right now, but the core power users are from Eastern Europe, Russia, Ukraine, a lot of users from Middle East, really a lot, and Asia is also like now I think is getting connected there too. The platform itself is way different from WhatsApp and other messengers because it has very strong focus on content distribution. They have like wide range of different type of content you can share. You can do live streams like Twitch. You can have channels, including paid channels, and many different type of content you can share on the platform. And I see that the creators segment of Telegram is growing. I think it's a matter of time when some English-speaking creators will start their channels in on English for different languages in Telegram because they can be that you can monetize your channel right now already and get rewards from the views from the ads in Telegram ton coin like cryptocurrency,
Mm.
which is like it's just the first type of monetization I have heard about. Like you can get directly cryptocurrency for your views, and I think it's no brainer. If Mr. Beast tomorrow will launch his channel, he'll start earning tens of thousands of dollars in cryptocurrency and ton cryptocurrency, which is another topic. Around maybe 5 or 7 years ago, they started a Telegram Open Network, which is a blockchain project around Telegram. But the same guys, they were connected with the Telegram founders, and of course, Pavel Durov, he was the founder. Right now, when he started, he tried to get some investors for ICO, and he got a lot of commits, uh, but like SEC told him like you cannot do that because uh, you're taking money from Russian oligarchs and you're launching a token and you have like a company like a messenger. So there were some legal issues and he was not allowed. Paul Durov was not allowed to launch it. So he quit the official SEO role of the team and like told everyone that this project will be decentralized and will be built by the group of developers, indie developers who want to do it. And it's like kind of open source, but it's not open source to be honest. So the interesting thing coming is that this blockchain from nothing, from zero at the era of ICO, right now grow to the eight eight number blockchain number eight in the all like list of blockchains by market capitalization. I think it's worth billions of dollars. The token price is not that big, but the market capitalization gives it eighth place which is amazing result. And it means like this blockchain is already in top 10, and it means like it's already having like it's a huge business, just like a blockchain company. It's a huge business, and the token that they created, they integrated it very natively and smoothly to Telegram. The best part of it is that every user on Telegram has built-in wallet for cryptocurrency in their Telegram account. So you have 1 billion of users, and these 1 billion of users are already 1 billion of wallet holders of Telegram
Yeah.
blockchain. So they grow hack like the same way like Zuckerberg like, did his threads. He launched it. He launched it for all Instagram users, right? And that's how he grow hacked this uh, like user inflow and like kicked off this network effect because he already had a big group of users from
Yeah.
Instagram. And
And I
actually,
would say like he's not the first one. Like when you think about WeChat, like WeChat has WeChat wallet for a long time. And
yeah,
they basically like they took their messaging and they built a wallet, like the biggest wallet
yeah.
in China in the back of it.
Yeah, while WeChat is fintech, the Telegram is more like a
Yeah.
crypto wallet, but it's still but it's a very good correlation here with what WeChat is doing because Telegram right now is a super app ecosystem, and other than this like story that they build this amount of wallets, and right now the blockchain is very popular and they have a lot of projects there in blockchain. I know couple couple teams that raise money from Telegram. They're building apps that have like millions of users. These companies are already profitable. They're making tons of money. And another interesting thing is what's happening right now in Telegram. And I think it's one of the main things happening in crypto right now is their mini apps and how they integrated these mini apps into crypto. I'm not sure if you heard about a project called Hamster Combat. Have you heard about that?
No,
Well,
no.
that's interesting project. This project was launched, I think, 3 months ago, just 3 months ago, and right now their daily audience of this project is 200 million users. 200 million users.
Oh,
That's crazy. The idea of the project is super simple. It's a web application with interface of Telegram mini app, so you can open it. So to become a user of application, you just need to click the link in Telegram. It opens up the bot, Telegram bot. You just click start, and you're subscribed to their channel. And they create a wallet for you. And in this wallet, you have to do taps. You have just to tap the screen, and every time you tap the screen, you get some coins. And later, these coins will become these coins will be distributed to these users. So it's a very casual, I even say damn casual game where you tap the screen and you get coins for that. And then when the project will go to the public exchange, to crypto exchange, they will give these tokens to users and they'll do airdrop. And right now they have a tons of like millions of users who are doing this expecting to have a drop. Of course, most of this audience is like a shitty audience because they don't want to create any value. They just tap and like the monetization of this project is very interesting. They are selling advertisements because the viral mechanic of the app, they got a lot of users from referral campaigns. They are having almost like a free growth for this application. They don't really purchase any advertisement anywhere, and they sell ads, placements for huge crypto, huge gambling projects, a lot of different stuff. I haven't checked myself the quality of these things, but I heard that these guys are making $3 million in ads just like in during one day. This is like
oh,
their revenue because they have 200 million users and they sell ads for Binance, for like famous crypto exchanges, for famous projects, and it's money machine right now. And the most interesting thing I heard, I think I would say it's a kind of rumor. I heard it by a guy who is somehow uh, he knows the founder of this hamster combo. This guy is a Russian guy, founder of Car Price. Uh, Maybe you have heard about Car Price, right?
Car price?
Car Price, yeah. No,
No.
Oscar Hartman.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
Oscar Hartman was
He
angel.
started a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Oscar Hartman was angel investor of Car Price, and this guy is for the friend of Oscar Hartman. His name is
Oh,
Eduard Gorinovich. So this guy launched this project. The information leaked to media, and there is a rumor that Pavel Durov came to this guy, to Eduard Gorinovich, and told him, "Hey, I'm ready to buy Hamster Combat. Like, you guys are doing good. I want to buy it." And he offered him a price, and the price was $500 million. $500 million, like
well,
half a billion,
I
because
mean, if you're making 3 million in revenue in ads per day, then yeah,
yeah, I think it's a kind of
huge.
reasonable price. It's just like 160 days of your revenue
Yeah,
upfront. That's it. To be honest, for me, sounds like a no-brainer. You just launched an application 3 months ago. The team is less than 20 people. You guys are just like super hyping all over the crypto world. Even on the main Ethereum conference in Brussels last week, they were discussing that these guys in Eastern Europe, they're doing some crazy moves with Telegram, and like they're like just crazy what they are
yeah.
doing with these applications. And he refused this offer. He said that their market capitalization should be $7 billion. He said
Well,
he's crazy. He's an astronaut. I think he's somewhere in space.
once you made enough money that you don't have to worry, like after you make like life-changing money, it's kind of like, okay, do you want to take this thing to the finish line of where it could be? Because you've already de-risked yourself, like as long as you pull some cash out.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with like, Zuckerberg but like, yeah, and if you think about like WhatsApp was the opposite, they did sell, or no, Instagram,
It
right?
was
Like
sold for 1 billion.
Yeah, Instagram sold for 1 billion. Everyone thought they were crazy, but like Instagram now, like is worth
Good
what?
word.
Like if you
I
took it
know.
out, it's worth a
50
few hundred
billion
billion.
probably. Yeah, or maybe more. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I would.
crazy.
Yeah, Facebook is worth over a trillion, I think, or it hit over a trillion. You got to figure Instagram is worth like 300 or 400 billion of that, if not more.
Yeah, so I think the main, of course, the price, the capitalization of this app is a good question, and we will see when the project is going to launch soon in public. And I think when they go into public, they also will have an official market capitalization on crypto exchanges. I believe that they will be somewhere. They will got definitely $1 billion, because there was another Telegram project also supported by Duro, called Notcoin. It was launched in May, and they immediately they had an absolutely similar business model, but they were not as wide, not as public. They had maybe 20 million users, but when they launched the token, they immediately got 1.5 billion market capitalization in tokens. So what's the my takeaway from this story is that these guys in Telegram ecosystem, because all of this like tap crypto applications, everything happens in Telegram, and these guys, they just 3 4 months ago, they discovered a new like infinity mining glitch, I believe. Maybe it's not gonna last forever. Probably there are a few more projects with lower capitalizations that will earn something from that. But these guys, they invented a glitch, because they found that if you are using Telegram as a platform for your application, you already have access to huge audience. And the greatest thing about this like access is that you have access like you already installed your application to their smartphone. Because if you use Telegram and you subscribe to a new application, to a new bot,
Yeah,
you immediately subscribe for notifications, which
yeah,
means you have as an app builder, you have access to a good retention like mechanics, good retention functionality from Telegram. And users, especially in countries where Telegram has a very deep integration, like I mentioned, Eastern European countries, everyone is chatting and using Telegram like most of their like messaging and social media time
Yeah.
because they acquire a lot of information from spend a lot of time. There's a high screen time in Telegram, so you get access to this wide audience, and you add this crypto kind of incentivization which is not very obvious, but it don't bring any risk for app builder because you're as an app builder you offer something in future for these users, some incentivization in future. You don't owe them anything right now, and it really like depends on the how good is your marketing like offering and how viral is your campaign. If it's viral, you'll get a lot of referrals, and then you'll have money and you'll have views, and then you can sell the advertisement. And then if you have made enough money and you're like doing good cash flow, and you have a lot of users and your project is already strong, then you can go to public exchange and make tokens. And once you make token, you also created kind of cash machine because you can issue these tokens. Many projects have like unlimited supply of tokens, which means the founders can issue new tokens and say, hey, we issued another billion tokens for our team. So yeah, maybe our price of the token will go down, but we will use these tokens to improve our like project and bring something else.
Yeah.
So it's kind of infinity money glitch on in Telegram right now, and super interesting. I really recommend diving into
Mm.
that. I believe it's very cool, and the Telegram mini apps itself is crazy good way to build applications because it's an app store inside of Telegram with an audience like huge audience with very good deep like integration to their
Yeah.
lives, and the interface of Telegram mini apps is very convenient for builders because you don't need to use some specific languages. Like if you need to build a iOS application, you need to use like different. So you need to use Swift or other like frameworks. When you're building Telegram mini app, you can just create a website and optimize your website for Telegram mini app because mini app is just web view of a website. So it's just web
Yeah.
view. So it's very easy to create your application, launch it in Telegram, connect it somehow, like make some webhooks so it's all
Yeah.
integrated, and create some viral mechanic for acquiring customers. It's very interesting,
Mm.
very interesting ecosystem, and I think it's probably the we'll see if it goes to English speaking countries, but right now, all the Eastern European countries and Middle East is just
Yeah. Yeah. I've used
conquered by
I've
Telegram.
used Telegram before. Like it's been getting a lot more press in the U.S. I think I saw it on TechCrunch a couple weeks back.
Yeah, and they want to go public soon.
Yeah.
Durov told to some interviewer guy, to TechCrunch, he told it like in April, I think, he told that they are going to chase 30 billion uh, like
Values.
market cap at public exchange.
Yeah.
They're going to do IPO. While to be honest, that's quite um, let's say that's a small amount for the project. I think they can
Yeah.
do even more, considering that Telegram is very well connected to Ton coin, which is like the blockchain I mentioned today.
Yeah.
If combine these two things, they are ridiculously interesting
Mm.
in terms of market capitalization.
Cool.
You good?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a mosquito.
Okay. Yeah, be aware of mosquitoes. They can be dangerous in Thailand, right?
You mean like malaria and stuff?
Yeah, or dengue, or how to.
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah, but I think it shouldn't be in my house like dengue. But
Yeah.
cool.
Tell me something about Taxi. I think. By the way, Taxi, do you guys discover something interesting in Asia recently? Maybe they finally started adopting Telegram, or. what's going on there.
Did they start adopting Telegram on Taxi, or what do you mean?
No, no, no. I mean, in Asia, do you guys see anything? Since you are running taxi, I think I guess you keep uh, a hand on pulse of Asian tech market.
Yeah, I keep my hand on the pulse of news. Telegram, like I haven't got any big indicators. Like I'm sure it's growing in popularity in Southeast Asia too, but like there's no major news around it in Southeast Asia that I know or that I've seen. But um, I think like so Texi is like kind of like a smaller free version of Tech in Asia, and I saw like Tech in Asia got bought by someone, a big Singaporean news company, 6 months ago, and they're now hiring pretty aggressively writers and stuff because they had kind of a lull, like there was no content. There was very little content, fresh content coming out in news. So I was like, oh wow, like they're even slowing down and nobody's really doing news. So it just felt like, but like at the same time, I cannot say that like Texi was blowing up because of that. We have a slow organic growth.
Mm-hmm.
So I with Texi, like we view it as a long-term play. It's very inexpensive to run, but we haven't figured it out. So like my conclusion so far is like Southeast Asia, they're kind of like accustomed to getting their news on social networks because Tech in Asia is paid. So it just seems like most people don't have this, like executives read maybe the paid version of Tech in Asia, but like the middle and lower folks, they just go to, social media to kind of get their tech news.
Mm-hmm.
But we're chipping away, we're making progress, and we're especially on our like TikTok show, we probably do 600 or 700 views a day.
Mm-hmm.
We're
What
testing things.
what was the main channel for growing taxi right now? Is it TikTok?
TikTok. So uh, I don't know. Like our TikTok views are stable. I cannot say it's really growing a lot. I don't know if the users are changing or what. Like I don't really look at the analytics too much. We're growing on LinkedIn. So we started. We had a Beehive newsletter,
Mm-hmm.
um, and we started sending our newsletter also on LinkedIn. So our LinkedIn newsletter organically grows by about 5 subscribers a day. We don't do anything. Like all we do is we post,
Mm-hmm.
and so like five is not amazing, but it's like yeah, and the LinkedIn followers are growing. So it's like that is where our core kind of like because it's a relatively low effort. Like we're taking a real long game. And part
Mm-hmm.
of it is like we think, okay, like maybe ideas will pop up along the way. So we'll just keep this as our platform.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the investor is he created a small startup like YouTube kind of humor channel.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna put that under the Texi brand and like be a separate YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we're thinking about creating like an umbrella of Texi media assets.
Mm-hmm.
And like we kind of want to experiment with different media type
Yeah.
initiatives. Like and,
Uh,
and this was another one. I was gonna start publishing this under another YouTube channel, and it'll be like under the Texi umbrella.
mm-hmm. Yeah, same, exactly same as I see the future for creators. Yeah, the umbrella
Yeah.
media holding because you there are always like new opportunities on market to start create content or like new platforms are emerging and you have to be there. You have to test new hypotheses every time, and you never know.
Yeah.
Like it's quite wrong to to choose one platform and just stick with it while there are a lot of opportunities. I also I see that you guys are doing this like bootstrapping approach to and product marketing approach to this. I appreciate. I also like trying to keep it that way for Creator CI. Also, Creator CI, as you remember, it was initially an idea of creating a community, and we didn't choose the we end up like creating a newsletter for community. And I'm really still thinking, it's still a good question for me, how to turn it into a community. And you told me you bring some idea of like school paid community. What do you think about like um, this business model of paid community and overall the platform school? I heard it's very famous for paid communities.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing today actually. So I'm creating a community for this Revive brand.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think they do is they create a very easy, intuitive way to create courses. So, like, I took this Easy Grow program on school, really loved it, really loved the whole course platform. It was so simple, lots of video, like you can put tons of content up on there and you see your progress. So, this is the approach that we're taking with Revive brands. Like, we're going to create over 50 to 60 videos broken up into like 6 modules. And I just want it to seem like there's a ton of value. That's how I view, and that's why I like I want it to be a paid community, but as soon as they come in, there's so much content that like it'll take them months to get through it all. And that is where I think there's a very interesting approach on community, because like on community the old way was like, okay, someone joins and you're trying to get them to engage in a thread or something and become involved. But it's so much easier if they join and they say, "Oh shit, like I have 50 videos to get through. It's going to take me the next 2 months."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that is like automatic engagement. So, and that was my exact experience on Easy Grow when I did the course. Like they have so much, like I only ever got through a third,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's just a matter of free time because there's a lot of good content on there. You're not really engaging in a community, but there is a chat and you can have like one-on-one or group posts. But the reality is you're spending a lot of time on their platform. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I take away from school is like this course plus community where you join the community, you might not be that active, but you have so much content that like you think it's a good deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it becoming quite popular, especially for like information, like digital products and courses, informational courses. I don't really see there some professional, like niche specific things, niche specific courses. And I have a impression of school that they have a lot of courses by guys who teach how to run businesses, like this kind of niche of info business, where you create a business about creating business, and like I I feel that it has some kind of a flair of hustling and like making money and kind of can be considered can be a block for some users. For me, for example, I would really think twice if I see a school link and I see that there's a course with onboarding. But probably it's a good. It has some good mechanics for retention, probably better than other platforms. Because what I see critical for community and for online courses is how they keep like users, what are their retention functionality? How can they keep users doing the course or keep them chatting with other people? I think it's very hard if you should have a very good like an active community manager to talk to everyone, create some like meetings, gatherings, and stuff like that. Do you see any kind of sign of this to be implemented good in school? Have you seen something in Easy Grow course like which helped you to keep working on the course and like some retention mechanics I you can notice?
Easy Grow didn't really have strong retention mechanics. I would say that like the community is pretty active and people are posting about their progress in terms of how much money they're making, and so it kind of motivates you. And I think like the UI on the coursework is so simple and easy that you kind of are motivated to like finish. You know, you see you're 76% done and
Hmm.
blah blah. Um, Greg Eisenberg uses school for his community empires, and he gives away a free school account. So the
What
investor.
what is, by the way, the free school account? I have seen this like offer in many offerings already. What does it mean?
So I think certain people who are kind of like affiliates, like Greg Eisenberg, as part of his Community Empires platform, which is a paid platform, $99 a month, you get access to a free school account. And school typically costs $99 a month.
For whom?
So
For creator or for user?
for creator. So
Mm,
like if I join Greg's Community Empire, because Community Empire is about creating a community on school.
mm-hmm,
So you get a free school account to create your own community as part of Community Empire.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's, I feel that's already here is some kind of multi MLM, like multi-level marketing. Like he's an affiliate that like lends people to his course where they have to create a course on school. So school is really a beneficiary there. They are getting like traffic and creators, and uh, probably they get some money out of it.
Yeah,
Interesting, very interesting.
yeah, it
Multi-level
is. It is.
marketing
It
and
is multi-level.
multi-level marketing built for creators and builders, which is
Yeah,
also interesting. People that already have this critical mindset on any kind of business model where they are can be considered a product, not only a user.
yeah. Well,
Great.
you know the history of school.
No idea.
So the founder of school is the guy who was running consulting.com for years.
Hmm.
I forgot his name. He's like a personality. You know, he used to create YouTube videos, but he was like the ultimate course creator hustler. So the creator of and like he told this story on YouTube and I watched it. And so like he just found some like random coders and they started putting together school, but like he had no tech background. You know, he was like the business hustler sales guy
Hmm.
who, you know, was like, "Oh wow, there's this cool software thing. Let me hire a couple developers." And then it started working. So, you know, school comes from this like hustler background rather than like the software startup YC type company background.
That's interesting already. Different perspective on things. So it's
Yeah.
cool.
And you see it like the platform is really simple, but like certain things that would be obvious in software, like I was like frustrated today because I couldn't like move something to a different block module, and it was like,
Hmm.
wow, this thing's been around so long, I can't do this simple thing. So like, yeah, I think they're not taking the most efficient like software approach. Um, but yeah, so yeah, we're gonna start marketing that. Like, my approach with this Revive is like, you get a product and you get a year access to this paid community, which is gonna have a lot of content. I'm gonna keep adding more so that you just feel like, oh wow, like it's a ton of value, you know, and like the whole thing about this TMJ stuff is it costs, you know, like your average person spent like 5, 10 years with this problem. It's a very debilitating and painful problem. They've often spent tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. And then we're going to come in and say, hey, like, get access to an appliance that's going to for sure help you and potentially fix it completely, and support in a community and direct access to me. And it's going to cost $100, which is like peanuts for what they spent, you know? So
Yeah,
that's what we're hoping to
and
do.
you'll have some online course part element of this community,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've already structured it. And
Hmm.
the
That's
approach I'm
why
taking now,
is the main reason why you choose school for the platform, right? Because you have this online course like builder, I guess, inside of school.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, more for that than the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I thought of school because I did Easy Grow, and I was like, oh wow, like the Easy Grow approach would work well for this Revive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
One one
that's
other
quite interesting.
one other thing I was gonna tell you about, I think it's interesting. So we're growing this offshoring stuff. One guy I talked to, like he would like there was this like VC dude that a friend we were he knows the investor that I'm partner with, and we were mainly maybe gonna do something with him, and he was gonna try to create a growthassistant.com clone, and he's really well connected. But it looks like things are not gonna work out with him, so we're going forward with our own initiative, which we're calling Task Piece, and we're like we'll have the website up soon. We've already got a couple like test clients that we've been doing work for. We're using this whole points-based approach, but now we're gonna start. So we started two things. One is we're kicking off Facebook ads. They're not live yet, but we're already kind of like planning it. We planned it. And then the other one we're calling our Upwork upsell approach, where we bought connects, and we're like, so my other partner, who's a bubble developer, and he's an AI guy, so he's applying using those connects. So the approach is like we try to get, in communication with clients through Upwork. We tell them, hey, like we'll give you a really good deal. We're going to use this ClickUp points based approach. And then we just try to continue the relationship from there and say, hey, like you can outsource absolutely anything to us by just writing these ClickUp tickets, cards. So that's kind of what we're testing.
So do I get it correctly? You will target customers on Upwork who want to create something, do some tasks on Upwork. You reply as a freelancer and will explain this. So, hey, I have this framework for you. I can do this task with this framework, the short description, and like go. Let's chat about that. That would be that's the strategy.
Yeah, I would clarify slightly that so we're doing bubble and design first. Um, Design, so we're using like a designer who has got an Upwork profile. Bubble, we're using this other guy who's my partner who's a Bubble developer, and they both have Upwork profiles. So they use the connects, they apply. They treat it like a normal Upwork job, right? Like we don't get
Mhm.
to, we just say like, oh, hey, like to do your Upwork job, like we've got this system where we do click up tickets and we'll write the ticket for you, but we just want to like add you as a guest and you clarify the scope in the ticket.
Mhm.
So like we're not making him do any extra work. We're just using these tickets as part of our process. And we hope that it ends up being a good experience. And then we just tell them, hey, like absolutely anything you need done, we can do relatively cheaply using the same system. Like just imagine like you're growing a new business and like you want marketing, you just write a ticket in the Kanban for marketing. You want design, there's a design Kanban. You want engineering, there's an engineering Kanban. So like forget about like using and having to find Upworkers. Like this is a level easier and only a little bit more expensive, right? So if you're starting a business and you just like you don't want to worry about hiring people, you don't worry about like hiring people on Upwork or whatever. Like we will, and we're pretty good at, we have vetted people, and if we don't have vetted people, like we know how to like hire people well on the platform. So the whole idea is like, hey, just like whatever you need, like don't hire people at all. Just do everything yourself, and then anything you want to outsource, give it to us.
Mhm. Mhm. It's interesting. It's kind of almost sounds like almost like an arbitrage of Upwork, but with just different type of management, task management system inside.
Yeah, I would say we're trying to go between like offshore agencies are huge now. Like there's so many, they're tripping over each other, right? And if you look at their classic client, like they're taking a pretty big margin, like they're like selling you a person for say 3 grand a month and then paying that person maybe a grand and a half or something like this.
Mhm.
Like margins are often like around 100% at least at the beginning on those guys, and they're hiring you a full time person. And like I've often found like a lot of clients don't need full time, but they also don't want Upwork because they've gotten burned on Upwork. So
Mhm.
we're trying to be like that guy, the clients who maybe they don't need full time yet. They like this kind of like part time or give task based, but they don't want to use Upwork, right? They
Mhm.
want a cleaner experience. So like our hypothesis is there's a market there.
Mhm. That's like I think that the two bottlenecks I see that would be interesting. How do you guys solve it? Is first is how do you acquire customers, because you have to compete with Upwork for the customer, right? And just going to Upwork and replying to doing proposals and replying to some customer projects, you will have you have to spend so high huge budgets on this like proposals, connects, because they are quite expensive right now on Upwork, and like the open rate and view rate there is quite small. And you know probably that like 70% of jobs on Upwork are actually bullshit jobs. They are not going to hire anyone. They just like researching the market, talking to people, getting estimations, whatever. Maybe hiring people for full time, trying to hire freelancer full time. So whatever, but very the real amount of jobs is not that big as you see it from first view. And the second question is not the first one is like how are you guys going to fight for the customer acquisition, and the second is how you guys are going to like operate this. It seems to be super operational business where you operate dozens of freelancers. I understand that you already have some system for filtering them up and giving them tasks in ClickUp, but anyway, like you will be in the end of the day, you'll be responsible for the result of these freelancer jobs. And what do you feel about like how do you, let's say you
Yeah.
have
So
a let's say just for one like situation to experience for modeling, you have a good account, good client who spends, let's say like I don't know, $10,000 per month in your platform, but your platform by its nature it's not like having anyone like account manager, right? You just connect the customer with some freelancers, and these freelancers they have some fail rate, at least like maybe 10% of their tasks of their projects will be failed. This is freelancers, because if they have a better fail rate, probably they will become a top vetted like super high level like expensive freelancers. You will not be able to make an economy with them, or they will launch their agency if they are as good as like more than 90% success rate. So like this, how do you manage this operational part for good clients?
yeah, good question. Let me ask. Let me. I'll answer that, but let me say one thing about the first part of what you said, which is how do you get acquire clients. So we've had some interesting insights here, and I agree with you. I don't think Upwork's going to work, but we were going to test it, right? And we're still creating the website, and like the Facebook ads aren't live yet, so that's why we were just like, all right, let's just see if how Upwork works out, right? But the main hypothesis here is we know a friend of a friend. Like my friend is talking with another friend in Pakistan who runs an outsourcing agency, and he's like expanding crazily. And so he asked him like, "What are you doing?" Like, and he's doing more or less the same offshore model as like Sean Puri and Somewhere.com and Cube and all these guys, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
that, but he's undercutting them massively because he's using Pakistan and he's not like an American guy. He's a guy in Pakistan and he hires everyone like in his village or city, and he's just like hiring, like he's got a few hundred people. And the reason why is Facebook ads. So like, and I think like what's happening on Facebook ads is like D2C e-commerce blew up on Facebook ads, like 5, 10, some number of years ago. And I think like local services are really big on Facebook ads, but now like this offshoring thing is really taking off on Facebook ads, is what I understand from this experience. So that is what we're testing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then on the implementation side, so I'm gonna test this myself in between. Like I do this on an ongoing basis, and I know like the failure rates, and I can usually detect like when an Upworker is not good pretty quick because I have him use my system where like I write a card and he's got to respond and he's got to comment, and we will be very like transparent to the client. So like if I don't like I'm acting as the go-between. So I'm making sure that the task is clear to me. I'm telling the Upworker, okay, like I want this done by tomorrow, and I'm putting it in, and I'm gonna like manage in between.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna try to get the Upworker so that I trust to the level where I trust him and it just works.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like my system for the year, right? It's all about like, okay, like some percentage of people are gonna suck. The people that are have potential, like I'm gonna work with them. I'm gonna get them used to my system, and then like by the end, like after a couple months, I'm hands off more or less. So like that is what it's based on. Is like, okay, is that model, can it scale? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and so like I'm always kind of like training another 20 or 30 people to become to the point where I'm like almost hands off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know, like with my system on ClickUp, like I can manage 20 or 30 people like freelance in that way. Yeah, if we scale beyond that, like it's then we'll hire people and stuff.
So yeah, I see that still one thing I feel is missing here is okay, you can have 20, 30 freelancers managing it. You're doing also other projects, and I know that you are a beast of like tasks and everything, but doesn't seem very scalable. And probably the question to scale here is if you have your framework and somehow you create the middle management part of this like funnel of getting tasks, hiring people, setting this like freelancers and everyone. But there should be some middle level management. I cannot believe that there can be C level to like top level management with the framework and and especially like only two
Yeah,
levels
yeah,
because it's not sustainable anyway.
yeah. And my partner, this other guy, Kieran, he's gonna do the same thing, but on Bubble and stuff. So like I'm not
Hmm.
the only one.
Hmm.
And eventually we'll need some kind of middle management. Yeah, I don't want to be doing that type of work too long. But it'll get me used to like, okay, does this model work? But like what I would say that you would be surprised at, you know, I've been using this system and like at certain times I was managing over 50 people at a time.
Hmm.
And I wasn't pulling my hair out or anything, you know, and so a lot of those people were almost working like full time on tasks. And I would describe that the reason I wasn't pulling my hair out is because you'd be surprised like how quickly you can just look at what someone's done and tell them like, okay, that's crap because of this reason. You're like, that takes me 2 minutes. You know, like I don't go in there and like solve it for them. I tell them, okay, no, like you didn't design the way I specified it. Like I want you to do this and this, right? And that's like 2 or 3 minutes of feedback. So if you think about like that is the level of feedback you're giving, and you're acting as that go between, and you're only letting it go back to the client once you're happy. Like you're doing lots of small incremental amounts of feedback.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and it adds up, but it adds up to like a couple hours, not like 10 hours.
It works like that if you understand the task completely that you're doing. But sometimes you have to deal with tasks you don't know and you don't know how to solve them like in a very
Yeah,
efficient
yeah.
way,
This isn't
right?
like, I would just say this is like complex engineering. This is like design, you know, maybe some bubble, maybe, you know,
Hmm.
market, whatever. Like we're not doing anything super complex.
Yeah, but I know I feel like there are two types of projects. One type of project is like a template thing. You probably made it many times, and there are like I don't know, it's like YouTube. There are like probably thousands of YouTube tutorials on that. These types of tasks, but also there are sometimes you can get requests that require some additional like creativity to solve the task. And when you will come up with this creativity, you will, if you don't have a middle manager, you will have to spend your energy and your creativity on that because you cannot just give it out to the
Yeah, yeah,
freelancer, right? And a free, and then if the you somehow came up with some idea, you also may be not right about that. Like you may propose a wrong plan, and then freelancer will did it, or maybe a freelancer did it correctly or wrongly, and you don't know how to check this, like how good was the job,
yeah,
how good is the quality of the job done. So I feel there is procedures have to be in place anyway, and middle management who can like take this creativity and which what I also came up into mind the middle management thing. I recently checked I recently had a act like Twitter screenshot from someone like there's a story about the guy who's like making 200 grand as a middle manager in some like tech company, and he works like 6 hours per week and just like traveling all the time and pretend to work and from home, and like he's 100% remote and stuff. And he claims like the market for these jobs is like huge in America, and you can work like that in many different companies. So he don't really care about the performance of the company, and like he don't have much responsibilities, but he has to do this like middle management of work, which requires of course some kind of some portion of creativity, and you have to manage some probably some offshoring specialists and resources. And what I ended up with is offshoring is usually focused on this junior level freelancers, specialists that do things with their hands, like not with their, rarely with their brains. And it seemed to be a niche for middle management offshoring. Like, why would you hire an account manager, a project manager, or some other like middle manager from US if you can hire them from other countries where it's much gonna be much cheaper, just because of the language, because this person can speak with the client just because of it. If it's the bottleneck, then there is also like many ways how to hack this thing. But yeah, I think it's not popular offer on the market. And what do you think? Why? Why is it that? Or maybe I just missing something. There is a huge startup building middle management offshoring.
I would say that this gets into the model that I'm trying to do. And I'll explain what I mean. Is that in order to do, like, I would say that what I do is a lot like middle management offshoring, right? Like, if you think about this one client I have, which is a solar client, I act as the fractional COO slash head of tech. But what does that mean? That means I join the regular meetings, like I have direct contact with the CEO, and he tells me what to do at a relatively high level, and I got to break that down into things that are digestible to the offshore team, right? So in small companies like this, small to mid-sized companies, like you need someone like me, and you don't need like an additional level beyond that. Like they has some co-founders or CEO, and then you need someone to go between them and your offshoring team. Um, and so to do that, that is a very important role. And I think offshoring companies are starting to do that. They're starting to realize that. So that's why, like, my model that I want to replicate is I place myself at a very fractional basis, but I'm the one that's like, I'm their face, I'm their relationship. I'm the person that they can say something relatively high level, like complex to, and I will digest and figure out, all right, I'm going to break this down into a project and give these to that people and this to that people.
Yeah,
And so,
that's C-level competences, right?
yeah.
It's not middle management.
So, yeah. So this is because this is like a small mid-sized company. If it's bigger and you have like proper middle management, um, I see some of this happening. Like, my friend is from Pakistan and he's kind of a middle management. He was like a COO before, and that's what he's trying to do. Um, and there's like more like, like in design, there's like a senior designer. And so whenever I give work to this offshoring company, they always give it to the senior designer, and she's kind of the relationship person who breaks it down. And so, yeah, like they don't call it middle manager, but there's usually like a senior person in that function in the offshoring company who kind of like can speak with the client, digest it, and then, they more call them like project managers instead of
Hmm.
middle managers.
Hmm.
But I would say like the function they're serving is similar.
So this thing is already emerging in this
Yeah, I think
offshoring
so.
industry.
I think
And
so.
yeah, you highlighted another thing, which is fractional C-level, and I think it's another super popular business model right now. I've
Yeah.
seen, and I know some startups that just like hiring some tech, big tech middle managers and directors, VPs, not C-level of course, but some managers, and then they resell them to startups. So the startup is launching something, and they are like lacking of CMO usually, or CEO, or like CPO, whatever. So it's quite interesting business model. And also when they sell this, resell this talent from big tech, they also can, in bundle, they can upsell some workers with offshoring workers. So it's, I think there is interesting business model here, like uh, upset, like doing this, selling this C levels, and then with the help of the fractional C levels, you can upsell offshoring.
Yeah,
That,
yeah. That's the model I see potential in. That's what I'm trying to
Mhm.
essentially do here. And I would say a couple things. So like this fractional stuff has been pretty big in the US for a couple of years now. And there's oversupply because anybody that gets laid off becomes like a self-appointed fractional
Yeah.
leader, right? And then there's platforms that go and try to like help them. And like I've seen some platforms, I even joined one a couple of years ago. I would say they don't get many clients because most CEOs are like when they're looking for a fractional leader, they're just using referrals. Like they're rather than going to some agency, like they go and they ask their other 10, CEO friends, like, all right, can you recommend someone for this? And that's how most jobs are gotten. So I think like the fractional role thing is very referral based and kind of hard like to build a platform for. But I think combining this kind of slightly fractional leader with offshoring, and that person is the person who really understands the whole offshoring world. Like I see a lot of potential with that
Yeah.
because I can translate what that company needs. Like this client I have in solar, like there's so many people that are using Upworkers now because I've kind of put the system in place.
That's actually very close to hiring a startup team. Like you have no competences, you have no experience, but you're building startup, you have access to venture capital. You just hire a fractional C-level guy who can run some cheap labor, and you have a lean approach in place,
Yeah.
and you have a good experience, senior expertise. So yeah, it's quite good model.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
think
and
I,
it's
I
such
think we're
a
gonna see YC startups soon with this.
Yeah, I think they're
Fractional.
doing it. Like I would be surprised. And I would say that it's such a good value prop for them, right? Like, yeah, I look at myself in this solar client and I'm like, if it weren't for me, like they probably wouldn't have built the MVP in Bubble. They would have like hired a bunch of coders, and there's a bunch of things that they would have just taken the inefficient, expensive approach. And rather they have me, and like I've probably started my own startup, I don't know, more than 10 times over the last 20 years. Have learned all like the cheap, fast, efficient way of doing things. And so they inherit all that essentially for free.
Mhm.
And that like moves them up the learning curve. So yeah, I think that there's like really an interesting value prop here.
Yeah, I think about this as also as agency agency business model where you have an very like experienced founder with expertise, or CEO who is usually um, like be like he's participating or she participating with the client on the top level decision making, like how to approach these projects or recommending something. That's what I'm doing for my agency, for my clients,
Yeah.
when we discuss some launching a new e-commerce or developing an application or something. And I feel when we were just talking about that, I felt like, wow, I'm actually doing this fractional C-level
Yeah.
job for them. That's what they are paying in the very beginning. That's what they're very eager to pay, because I can solve the problem and I can like point out how to solve it. And then in bundle, they purchase the resources I have as a agency specialist, like very niche, specific specialists who can help to implement all these recommendations and stuff. So yeah, I feel it's not just it's not just a business model of like it's 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 just more like a way of how people want to acquire talents and expertise, and how to sell. But I would better say it's the right way how to sell resources, talents, and specialists to no matter it's offshoring or onshoring or whatever. It's just what every consultancy firm is doing. It's what every service company is doing for their clients. If it's a big client, let's say, and big consulting firm. Since I was in working as a consultant, I remember that it was always a partner or engagement manager who worked with clients, and they were coming up with some high level ideas or how to do something and what are the directions, and then they just outsourced the rest to consultant teams and stuff. Yeah, quite interesting. I feel
Yeah,
I want to research more the fractional C-level thing, the offer. Maybe I even can rename the offer in my agency.
yeah. When you describe that, like I think we're doing very similar things with one main difference, right? Like you position yourself as their gateway into like their Shopify website. Like I could have positioned myself as their gateway into having their bubble tech built, right? But instead, I kind of I'm their COO slash head of tech. So, but like, because I don't have like I wouldn't make enough margin just going that vertical on bubble with this type of client.
Hmm.
So therefore, I need to go broad. And so like I created a growth team and I'm hiring resources to do different growth initiatives like offline, online, and like some other stuff, right? So like, but like now I'm very embedded in this client, and that's what I want to recreate.
Hmm.
Is like if you're their COO slash CTO, like all of a sudden, like okay, like I have more spend I can do on that and this and that, right? Like, and as long as you have like a way to like gather those resources, it's a good way of scaling, and you make
Yeah,
yourself very relevant to the client.
yeah, yeah. Good point of that. Good point.
I should put my son to sleep. He's about they keep pinging me.
Yeah, it's time. What's time with your place right now? Is
It's
it like
nine,
10?
nine,
It's
nine.
9. Okay. Yeah, it was good talk by the way. I really
Yeah,
liked it. Let's see how it will be published. We're going to publish this one, right?
yeah. I'll publish. I didn't publish last, but like I looked at it, I think it was a little rough. Like this one, I think I'll publish it and we'll cut it a little bit, and we'll create this new YouTube channel, which will be under the Techsy umbrella. It'll be like Techsy Podcast or something.
Okay. You
And then
kind of made this host. You claimed to be the host for this, huh? Uh, So okay, I don't mind, but I think we should discuss like how to name it and if you um
I'm
so
not gonna be the host. I'll say we're both the hosts.
okay, okay. So
Yeah, yeah.
then but you want it to be the taxi. I think it should be a
Oh,
partnership.
yeah. Of course. If you want
Yeah.
it to be on, I'm okay. Like if you want to put it on the creator, I didn't think that you wanted this on the creator, right? But
Yeah.
if you want to put this under your brand, then I'm okay.
Yeah, I would not say that I'm necessarily like want to put it on some like umbrella. I just I think there is greater CI is not that 100% relevant, and I'm not sure if taxi is also like 100% relevant here because it's more
Yeah,
like
yeah,
focused on Asian markets where we are discussing all over the world. I feel why don't we just like put it with our names? That's
Sure. Well, okay. I'll keep it
yeah,
free
yeah,
as yeah.
yeah.
We'll put it on a
I
separate page.
because I feel yeah that would be kind of no point to not like topic or keyword conflicts, so it will be
Yeah. Sure.
quite clear. I'm happy to to list and explain and like make references to all our projects we are building and TechZ and creators or
Yeah,
whatever. But yeah, it feels like a more separate, chill, wide discussions on Sundays.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So I'll come up with some names and then propose to you, and we'll just create a separate YouTube channel.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like it. Let's keep it that way. And if you need any help, I can also support. So yeah, thank you, Ken. Have a
Okay.
good have a good night.
All right.
And talk to you soon. Bye.
Ciao. Good night.